So in this tutorial, I want to talk a little bit more about quiz banks. So we're going to start in our course by clicking on quizzes. And then over here, instead of creating a quiz, we're going to go ahead and click on this cog icon, and we're going to choose to manage our question banks. Okay? And here, we're going to start by adding a question bank. I'm just going to call this example bank. I'll hit enter, and now we have this example bank. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the title, and that's going to take me into this question bank. And in this question bank, I'm going to add a question. So I'm going to say, okay, let's say that this first question, which I will call question 1, is going to be, what is 1 plus 1? So 0, we'll say 2 here, 0, 1, 3, and we'll update that question. Okay, so there's question 1. Let's go ahead and add another question. We're going to add a second question called question 2, and this one will be, what is 2 plus 2? I'm going to go through and do this for several questions. Okay, so just bear with me here. Let's go ahead and change this up a bit so that they're not saying, hey, question 3 has 3 as the answer. Date. Okay, and we'll add one more, and let's just go ahead. We'll call this question 4, and we'll say, what is 2 times 2? 4. Date question. All right, so I've got this example bank. And I could create a second bank if I wanted to. I could even create some details here. So if I want to edit bank details, I can just either do that, or I could click here to show question details. Okay. And here's the cool thing too that you need to know. Let's say that I wanted to actually move questions from this bank to another. I could actually click here and choose to move multiple questions. So I could say, oh, well, this is a multiplication question, so I want to move it to a different bank. Or maybe I want to move all of these to a bank I'm going to call Unit 1 multiple choice. Well, I could choose to move them here to Unit 1 multiple choice. And I could move all of those questions there. So now my example bank is empty. I could again add another question if I wanted to. And I could just do something, let's say true, false. We'll call this question 1. And I will say 1 is greater than 2. The answer to this, of course, is false. I'll update that question. There we go. And then I can edit this bank, and this could be Unit 1 TF for true, false. All right. Forgot to press enter there. And now let's go back out to my quizzes. And we're going to manage my question banks. Okay, so here is Unit 1 TF, Unit 1 multiple choice. Okay, so let's go ahead and put these question banks to use. So I'm going to come over here to quizzes again. And now I'm going to start building a quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and press my plus quiz button there, and I'm going to call this a quiz that pulls from question bank. So I'm going to call this a question bank, if I could spell correctly, quiz. And I'll click on questions here. I could actually choose new question group, and I could call this group whatever I want to, and I can say, okay, pull 2 questions and make them 1 point each. And I can link this group to a question bank. So let's say I wanted to link this to multiple choice. Well, I could do that, and I could call this group multiple choice questions. Okay, and then I will create that group. So that's going to pull 2 questions from my multiple choice test bank. And then if I wanted to create another group, I could call this TF, 1 question, 1 point, and I'm going to link it to my Unit 1 true, false, and create that group. And then when I save and publish this, when I go to preview this quiz, I'm going to see, okay, there's 2 times 2. That was one of the questions. Here's 2 plus 2. And there's that, okay? So let's go over here to quizzes again. Question bank quiz, preview. And you'll notice that even though the first question is the same, the second question is now different from what it was. Okay? If I go back to quizzes again, and I go to that quiz again, and I preview, again, these questions are changing. So this is a way that you can use question banks to build quizzes that are dynamic depending upon which student is looking at them and how they're opened. So that's all I have to say about question banks.